Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call this meeting of the Howell Township governing body to order. This is our public participation meeting of May 13th. Mrs. Woolman, would you please read the appropriate statement and call the roll?
Let the minutes reflect that adequate notice of the holding of this public participation meeting of the Howell Township Council was provided for in the following manner. By the posting of a copy of said notice upon the bulletin board in the Township Municipal Building on December 28, 2007. By the faxing of a copy of said notice to the Asbury Park Press, Tri-Town News, and Star Ledger for publication on December 28, 2007. By the filing of a copy of said form of notice in the Township Clerk's office on December 28, 2007. The public will be allowed to attend and will be allowed to participate pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law. The public is reminded that civility and decorum will be maintained during the meeting. Any contracts awarded at this meeting between now and the next meeting will be required to comply with the requirements of Public Law 1975, Chapter 127. In accordance with the Fire Prevention Code, be advised that this facility is designed with 3 emergency exits for your safety. The locations are as follows. Upon exiting the meeting room to the rear, they are to your immediate left and immediate right, and at the front of the meeting room at the left of the dais. Furthermore, smoking is not permitted in the municipal building. Please take note that this meeting is being videotaped for possible future broadcast on Howell Township TV 77. Roll call, Mrs. Dalton.
She's not currently here.
Mr. Howell.
Here.
Mrs. Showmaker.
I do believe she's going to be here this evening.
She will not be here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Walsh.
Here.
Mayor DeBella.
Here. All right, would everyone please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would just ask that we all please remain standing for a moment of silent observation and thought of the troops that defend this country all over the world. Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask the council to join me up in the front of the room. We have a special presentation to make. All right, well, good evening, folks. As is often the case, it's rare that a meeting goes by where we don't have an opportunity to recognize a young person from the community who has done something extraordinary, outstanding, and has brought real distinction to the community. Oftentimes, it's something academic or intellectual. At times, it's something charitable or involved in a volunteer situation. And many times, it has to do with athleticism. And there's nothing more important, at least in my view, being involved in the community with athletics, because it teaches young people a lot. It teaches young people, whether it's an individual sport or a group sport, a lot of characteristics that I think are important throughout life, whether it is teamwork, discipline, maturity, how to really conduct yourself. And we have someone with us this evening who really is deserving of some very, very special recognition. I would like to ask to come up to the front of the room Joey Langle, who was Howell Township's first state champion in wrestling in the 112-pound range since 43 years ago. The last state champion was Carlos Fontanez, and I won't say I wasn't even alive 43 years ago. And I think Mr. Walsh was alive because he's considerably older than the rest of us.
I was, but it was South Freehold at the time. It was not called Howell High School.
But Joe, your record outstanding. I know you were there a couple times before and came real close, and that to me is perhaps the most distinguishing attribute of your title was you got real close 2 times, you kept with it, you put it over the top, you brought wonderful recognition to the community, and on behalf of the township, we want to present you with this certificate of achievement. It's presented to you on this 13th day of May in honor of your outstanding abilities and talents in winning the state wrestling championship. It's got the seal of the community on behalf of Deputy Mayor Howell, Councilman Dalton, Councilman Walsh, and Mrs. Showmaker and myself. I drew a blank. What can I tell you? We're still close. We'd like to present this to you, and you've really done a terrific job. Thanks for bringing such a sentiment. Would you like to say anything?
in the greenish bluish shirt.
That be Mr. Gagliano? Why don't you come on up, Coach?
And also I'd like to recognize my family for supporting me and helping me achieve my goals.
Coach, you have anything you want to add?
I just want to say that it was an honor to coach Joey for the last 4 years. Joey not only was the captain of the team, state champion, first state champion for 43 years, but he also went into a national tournament after the season was over and took first place in the nationals. So he was also a national champion.
In case we're getting rowdiness tonight, would you stay here and just give us a little protection in case we're in trouble? I think you can handle your own. Well, thank you. Congratulations to your family as well. You have a lot to be proud of, and wish you much success in all your future endeavors. Thanks for coming out. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One second, man.
Sure.
Joe, you got one thing.
All right. Okay, and getting back to business, we have some presentations this evening, actually one presentation and one proclamation. Mrs. Schlegel, we'll turn it over to you and your team. I understand we have a community block grant presentation tonight.
Yes, we do, Mayor. Mr. Nunziato will give a brief presentation for the community block grant.
Great. Mr. Nunziato, good evening. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get started, I'd like to just recognize Mr. Frank Kraskowiak, who's the chairman of the Citizens Participation Group, formerly the Citizens Advisory Committee. Earlier this evening, we had a public meeting of the Citizens Participation Group for the purpose of soliciting ideas for the 2009 Community Development Block Grant Project. And I'll turn it over to Frank as far as the outcome of that meeting.
Good evening, Mr. Kraskowiak.
Hi, how you doing? At that meeting, we just considered to go forward with the ongoing project we have at Ford Road. This would be our third phase of it, and we decided to just continue on with it. That's the only thing we really have available at this time to go forward with.
Okay, so taking it from there, the last 2 years' worth of community development block grant awards were the 2007 and 2008, the reconstruction of Ford Road. It's roughly a 4,000-foot reconstruction. We're going to do some drainage, and we're going to do a culvert repair. In 2007, we were awarded roughly $181,000. That money was used to award a contract to a consultant who's actually finished the design and has the permitting into the DEP. Once that permit is actually acquired, we can actually begin spending the money for Phase 1 and do some paving. Phase 2 was in 2008. We just got notification of that monetary award. We should receive that around July or August. And with that money, we can continue paving and going forward with Phase 2. The 2009 application is simply a continuation of this process. And right now, all we really need from council is just acknowledgement that the advisory group has recommended this project and that the council's in support of it. We don't need a resolution at this point, just a simple straw poll that the council supports this project.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the council with respect to proceeding as recommended by our Citizens Action Advisory Committee? Mr. Howell, you in agreement?
Absolutely, Mayor.
Mr. Walsh?
Yeah, I would just like to ask is, how many phases will it take to complete the road? What would you think?
Well, it's either somewhere between 4 and 5, depending on the price of blacktop. We had estimated about an $800,000 project, $200,000 a year for 4 years, but the awards are somewhat reduced depending on the budget cuts at the federal level. So probably a 4 or 5 year project.
Okay, no problem at all.
Mrs. Dalton, we're just looking to get concurrence from the council on this particular project, which is a continuation of the past 2 years' block grants.
I'm very familiar with the Ford Road block grants. I think it's great. I had to take a phone call. I've got got a sister in the hospital,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry
I
to hear
apologize if I
No,
wasn't
not at
paying
all. Not at all.
close attention as I usually do.
Okay, well, I think you have your direction, Mr. Nunziato. Is that sufficient, or are you looking
Absolutely,
for
that's all we need at this point.
Well, good luck. Thanks for keeping
Thank
us
you very
posted.
much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Skoviak. We appreciate it. Next on the agenda is a proclamation I'm going to read on behalf of the township. This is for Older Americans Month, and I see we have Ms. Zur, Carol Zur, from our Senior Citizen Center. She has a new elaborate department. I don't want to call it the wrong complete department. What is the new name, Mrs. Schlegel?
No, it's Department of Senior Services.
Department of Senior Services. It sounds like a cabinet position.
She is part of the cabinet.
I understand that. I was thinking bigger cabinet. Well, let me proceed. Older Americans Month, this proclamation is dated May 13th, whereas Howell Township is a community in which approximately 11% of its citizens are age 60 or older in their homes. And whereas older adults in Howell and throughout the country are a growing population with evolving needs, and whereas older citizens are valuable members of our society who are rich with experience and deserving of our respect, and whereas the number of baby boomers reaching traditional retirement age continues to increase, a fact that spotlights the need for increased attention and the need of older adults, and whereas our older citizens of today and tomorrow promise to be among the most active and engaged older population in the nation's history, and whereas it is our responsibility of this and all U.S. communities to work together and prepare for changing older adult populations by modernizing systems of care and providing consumers with more control over their lives. And whereas overall quality of life can be greatly enhanced when supportive communities help their older citizens obtain the following. 1. Evidence-based approaches to making behavioral changes that can reduce the risk of disease, disability, and injury. 2. The tools to make informed decisions about access to better and existing health and long-term care options. And 3, more options to avoid placement in nursing homes and to remain at home as long as possible. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the governing body of the Township of Howell and New Jersey hereby proclaims May 2008 to be Older Americans Month. We urge everyone to take this time in May to honor our older adults and professionals, family members, and citizens who care for older adults. We also urge all citizens and communities to work collaboratively to strengthen the services of Howell Township that we provide to its older adults in ways that recognize the changing nature of their needs and that provide older adults with more opportunities to make informed decisions about their lives. Our efforts can greatly improve the lives of our older citizens and help pave the way for future generations. And this is dated May 13th, 2008, signed by myself as the mayor of Howell Township. Mrs. Zur, we appreciate your bringing this to our attention, and I know I speak for the council when I say we applaud all the efforts that you do in continuing to bring wonderful programs and services to the seniors in our community. You and your team do a magnificent job. So thank you. Okay, we now are going to go to our public portion of the meeting. I believe we have one person who signed up. Mr. Vince Laraya, welcome. Come on up, Mr. Laraya.
No, I qualify, as you said before, as an older American, right, Mayor?
How much older you get depends on Michelle.
Good evening, Mr. Laraya. How can we help you?
Yeah, I 3 items I want to present and discuss. Vince Laraya, 56C, the Villages. Now, the first item is the American Water Company hearing. Now, whatever the impact, whatever changes that come as a result of the hearings before the BPU and whoever else was taking testimony, is going to have the greatest impact on us, the senior citizens, where most of us are on fixed income. At that hearing in the middle school, we had tremendous support from the members of the council and from the professionals. And on behalf of us senior citizens, I want to thank you all for coming and trying to get these people to see the impact that these increases or rises or whatever what's going to happen will have on us. Now I want to swing over to the ambulance service discussions we had last week. At one point I heard somebody say, privatize the ambulance service. This is going to have a tremendous impact on us, the older people. Now, practically every one of us is covered by Medicare. Now, you have to understand that when a medical service is tendered, we all have to pay 20% of that. Now, I'm putting myself in the position of someone who's really strapped. I got something that's, I don't know, maybe I want to get the medical help, but am I ready to pay another $200 or $300 if it's for nothing? I'm going to just sit back and wait and see. That's not what we want for us. We want to be able to say, hey, there's something unusual going on. Let's get to somebody who can make an evaluation and make it safe for us. And finally, at the villages and everywhere you look, people are talking about doing something with solar generation, electric power generated through solar panels. This might be a topic and an area that the township might explore for making money, or certainly reducing expenses for the community, the expenses of running it. And, you know, there are many bonuses, if you will, that come through the various government agencies that will help offset the cost of the installation. And that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawyer. We appreciate your comments. Is there anyone else in the public who would like to be recognized? Anyone else? Okay, we're going to close the public portion. Mrs. Schlegel, is there anything else on the agenda for this evening you have for us?
No, I have nothing, Mayor.
Okay. I just want to call the council's attention then to the balance of our schedule for the month of May. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, May the 20th. We have our executive session at 6:30 and our regular meeting at 7:30. Any member of the council have anything else?
Mayor, if I could just take a minute. I spoke to you on the phone yesterday about this. There was a couple of things posted on the local internet sites, which I know you're very fond of, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. One of them, an individual posted that they had been told by an employee, or told by someone, that at a collective bargaining meeting, apparently the mayor made a comment to a handful of individuals that were walking out the door that the last thing, if it's the last thing he has to do before he's done being the mayor, is going to make it's going to be to see that they're all out of work. Was that pretty much it? Now, I don't believe the mayor had any collective bargaining meetings on his own. I'm pretty sure you were probably there. Mr. Walsh was there. So, I mean, I'm taking it on good faith that that was a lie, that somebody's just not telling the truth. But you know what? We're here in the public, TV. Mrs. Schlegel, did that conversation ever occur in that room?
Absolutely not.
Mr. Walsh?
Let me think. Absolutely did not.
All right, so we can pretty much say that that person was lying.
Thank you, Mr. Howell.
Then there was another, on another website, a fellow named Mark Stewart, a Brick Township resident, laid claim to the fact that the mayor is going to be wearing a raincoat over his shackled wrist within 2 weeks. Mr. Stewart, it's real easy to say that kind of garbage from behind your computer. There's 2 microphones right here. Come back here Tuesday. We'll wait for you. Thanks, man. That's all I got.
Thank you. I appreciate Mr. Howell and his comments. What sometimes people don't realize is that just because you're a public official doesn't mean you're a public punching bag. And it is pretty despicable that people resort to the tactics that they do. And some of these people aren't even worthy of being dignified. But I appreciate Mr. Howell's comments because I share in his concern. It's real easy behind their laptop computer to make all kind of ludicrous, wild allegations. And when you have a wife and kids who live in the community, it's hurtful. And it really doesn't have any place.
Yes.
And so I really appreciate your saying what you did, Mr. Howell. Any other business, Mr. Schlegel?
No, sir.
All right, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, man.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone. Meeting adjourned.